Is this the end of the AI boom? The bubble appears to be bursting faster than anyone predicted.
We are live as the markets react to this massive correction.
If you believe the headlines, AI is either about to replace you or it's the biggest bubble the stock market's ever seen. But what if both of those ideas are built on the wrong assumption? What if AI isn't about replacement or automation at all, and it's that misunderstanding that's driving a lot of fear and possibly some bad investment decisions? Recently, I came across some fascinating data from McKinsey and OpenAI, which genuinely not only challenged the way I think about and use AI, but the way I think about the big tech companies in the stock market. In this video, I want to break down these findings and share some interesting perspectives that you might not have thought about. I'll split this into 4 layers that we'll discuss throughout the video. The first is how we look at AI at surface level. The second is how AI is being used in 2026, and it might not be as clear-cut as you think. The third, and what I found most critical, is what the big tech companies are actually competing for. This was a huge revelation, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for that. Finally, we'll look at what this means for the whole investing landscape and how this data may affect your investing strategy moving forward. This isn't about predicting the future. It's about changing the lens we use to look at AI and what this means for work, investing, and this whole AI bubble conversation we're in. Let's go. First, we need to set the table and look at layer 1, AI on the surface. What do most people say or think about when they hear AI? AI is getting smarter, AI is coming for our jobs, the company's going to replace me with AI. This is all due to the rapid increase in AI power. Check out this study from Artificial Analysis. Just a few years ago, you could see just how wide the gap was between all the different AI models. But fast forward to today, and look how clustered the models are. Yes, they're all getting smarter, but there's no real standout winner. And while performance certainly matters when it comes to AI, so do costs. It's been well documented how expensive it is to run these complex AI models. However, if you look at NVidia's latest chip, we can see that the current version uses 100,000 times less energy per token than the model 10 years ago. This information does 2 things. The first is that it confirms what many believe to be true. Yes, AI is still improving at a rapid rate, whether that's due to the raw power or the fact that it's becoming cheaper to run due to advances in technology. However, it's at this intersection where things might not be heading in the direction you would have thought. Instead of treating AI as a replacement tool, the data suggests that AI will primarily be used to enhance and integrate. And this brings us on to layer 2, how AI is actually being used in 2026. Think of it like this. Replacement is when a machine does your job instead of you. But assistance is when a tool removes friction. It speeds things up and lets a human focus on judgment, context, and decision making. Most real-world AI use today sits firmly in the second category. We're not seeing humans being replaced in workflows. We're seeing the data-intensive parts of jobs being removed. This report from OpenAI found deeper integration of AI models across global industries. This shows that the more AI intelligence consumed or used by the worker, the more hours were saved, with some workers having saved more than 10 hours a week using dedicated AI models. AI handles the repetitive, predictable, the time-consuming parts, and the human stays in the loop and handles the more critical thinking. Take me, for example. I consider myself a tech dinosaur, but even I incorporate AI into my workflow for these videos. I conceptualize the idea, I write the scripts, I do the initial research, but then I use AI to refine and fact-check everything I've done to make sure I'm not massively off base on something. Could my workflow be optimized further? Absolutely, but even with my simple setup, it still saves me a ton of time. The main takeaway from this research is that the relationship with AI is based on improving workflows, not replacing them. That difference might sound subtle, but it completely changes the way you think about risk, opportunity, and adoption, 3 key drivers for big tech companies. This article from McKinsey suggests that a massive $2.9 trillion of economic value could be unlocked by 2030 in the US as companies redesign their workflows to integrate AI. Layer 3. What companies are actually competing for? This was the part that really changed my perspective on how I view AI, and in particular, how I view the big tech companies that are dominating the stock market right now. People assume the AI race is about who has the most intelligent AI, but if you look at what's actually happening, the race isn't about raw power anymore. It's about market share, distribution, and integration. Think about ChatGPT. It's fair to say that ChatGPT is synonymous with AI, and for that reason, it has the largest market share. Let's face it, you probably have it downloaded on your phone right now, and you've probably used it to help you draft that email or to try and find that loophole in that parking ticket you still haven't paid. Google has a distribution advantage because Gemini has been integrated across all existing products like Google Search. How many times have you thought of a question and you just wanted a nice, quick, short, sweet answer? I know, I'll just Google it. See what I mean? Perhaps a perfect case study that shows how this can play out is with Apple and the iPhone. Apple didn't win because they had the most powerful chip on day one. They didn't win because they had the most features on the spec sheet. Apple won because of integration. The iPhone wasn't just a phone. It was a Walkman, a camera. It was connected to an app store. It had iMessaging, which was novel at the time. It had its own earphones. Then came a Mac and an Apple Watch. The magic wasn't the hardware. It was the whole ecosystem that Apple had created. AI is heading down a very similar path. The companies that win won't necessarily have the smartest AI. The companies that win will be the ones that make AI seem invisible, seamless, and unavoidable in our workflows. And as AI models become more intelligent, the more they'll be able to understand context when prompted. And how does all of this relate back to how companies are competing? Well, if one ecosystem holds all of your emails, documents, and calendar information, the AI holds a huge amount of context when prompted as everything's integrated. This reduces friction as you don't have to manually copy and paste or upload documents. Basically, all the stuff I still do. These big tech companies know once they have you locked into an ecosystem, it's very hard for you to break out. Layer 4. What this means for the investing landscape. This is where the AI bubble question comes into play. Are valuations stretched? Possibly. Are expectations high? Definitely. But a bubble implies that there's nothing real underneath. And when you zoom out, what we're seeing looks less like speculation and looks more like the early stages of a new digital ecosystem being built. There's one other huge factor we haven't touched on, and this one's a biggie. In addition to everything we've discussed, it's all been confirmed that ads are coming to chatbots like ChatGPT. Now, I hate ads, you hate ads, we all hate ads. But there's no denying the huge money-making potential that this has for the respective companies. Now, with all that being said, I'm not saying that there won't be a market crash or some form of correction. But I do think those dismissing AI as just hype or another trend could be missing the bigger picture. And what I want to be crystal clear about as I close this one out, I'm not smart enough to know if there'll be a market pullback or continued growth or which individual company is going to win in the long run. But what this data has done, it's challenged the way I think about AI, how I use it, and how I think about tech in the stock market. If anything, it's just reminded me that multiple outcomes are always possible. And that's why I still believe a well-balanced, diversified investing strategy still makes sense. Not because it predicts the future, but because it respects uncertainty. AI might change the way we work, it might change the way companies grow, but what doesn't change are the principles of long-term investing. Let me know in the comments below if you found this video insightful, and I'd also love to know your thoughts on the current state of AI. I'd appreciate you liking the video, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns just like this. I'll catch you in the next one, guys.